Good morning. Welcome everybody to December 2nd, Pipestone County Commissioners meeting. Please rise for Pledge of Allegiance.
My allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everybody. Agenda's been presented. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda as presented?
Mr. Chairman, I do have a few this morning. On the consent agenda under hospital warrants, we have warrants in the amount of $550,288.86. $550,288.86. No offline hospital warrants this time. At the public hearing for the 2026 fee schedule, we'll be adding the 2025 cannabis fee schedule to that list. The assessor and auditor treasurer will be stopping down too. They have some additions they'd like to add to the list as well. There's no personnel items today, so you can scratch that from the list. And under other business, I would like to add the 2026 budget discussion and possible adjustments ahead of the Truth and Taxation meeting coming up this evening. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, here are those adjustments. I'll move that agenda.
Second. Motion second, approve the agenda. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, we'll look for approval of the consent agenda, which includes the minutes of 11:25, auditor warrants of 11:26, 12/1/25, commissioners warrants of $102,012.18, hospital warrants of $550,288.86.
Mr. Chair, I move for approval. Support.
Motion second, approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, we have Nick Bergman, County Engineer. Morning, Nick.
All right, first up for me today would be some project updates. The first update I have would be 25 gravel crushing. That project is now complete. Next update would be on page 2. It would be our 2025 box culvert. That work is done in 2026 now. The completion date for that contract was 26, so they had that option to work on it in either year. Hopes were to get better bid pricing doing it that way, and we got really good bids, so I don't know if it's by chance or if that actually worked well, but either way. Same with contract number 5, that will also be completed in 2026. So that's it for project updates for me. Next item will be to request approval to pay some right of ways. Nothing out of the ordinary here. 2 on the bottom, you see are a little bit higher than normal. Those had some fence on them, so. Here.
There's motion to approve the right of way payments.
Second.
Okay, motion second, approve right of way payment. Is there any further discussion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Next up and lastly for me would be some maintenance updates. Last month we've done 2 culvert replacements, 3 back slopes, finished our mowing. Pit, we finished putting on snow equipment. We did a ditch clean and removed a beaver dam. So busy month. Other than that, that's all I had for today.
Chairman, I have a question. When is Nate going?
He's here, I believe, this week and next week.
Is he leaving?
Yeah. Without looking at a calendar, I'm pretty sure that's right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you back to the budget meeting. So if something comes up, I'll be back here. So.
All right, thanks, Nick. Is Next up, we have Bill Folger, IT Director. Morning, Bill.
Good morning. From Bill.
All right. Topos, what I'm looking at. I checked the event logs for the last 90 days here, and this has stopped one credential harvest and one, like, they call it cyber squatting, where somebody has a website that looks almost like what you want to go to, right? But it's usually malicious that way. And it put the brakes on that, stopped it dead like it's supposed to. It kind of falls in a secondary category right now, Sophos does, but it's still our primary tool that we use to do any kind of cleanup. We've been using this for a long time, and I was using this at the previous place I was at before. I think the best deal, stretch it out. I mean, it's not going away. Some kind of antivirus we need would be the 5-year. And we've done a couple 5 years before. But price looks great for this. Any other questions about it, or?
Mr. Chair, I'll move for the approval of the $32,343.80 for the protection.
I'll second that.
Motion second, approve the purchase of the Sophos. Is there any further discussion?
So is it a 3-year renewal or a 5-year renewal?
We're doing the 5.
Okay,
I didn't see that first, Dan. It's on the second to last.
yeah,
paragraph.
yeah, I see that where it says 5-year, but it also says 3, so.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Is there any further discussion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Moving along, do you want to move to the budget discussion now, Steve, or?
Sure, that's fine with me. Except. Nick's still here?
I think he's on a call.
Okay. Want Nick to be in here too. If
Okay.
that's possible, so. we can get
Sure.
started on anyway. I gave you a copy of the spreadsheet of the budget again. And our percent of increase was right at 12.46%. I think that the board would probably like to bring that amount down. Not turn here, but I think. And 003 budget, I did add $400,000 in there for cushion as necessary. That could certainly be reduced or eliminated. And part of that is also, we do have reserves, as we learned from our audit, in revenue of over $4 million, so. And Nick does have some areas where he could probably bring us down a little bit too. I don't know what number you're looking for, where you'd like to be with the budget as a percentage of increase, but by doing the revenue and something possibly from road and bridge, I think we could get it down to around 7 to 8 very easily. % increase, which is basically what we had last year. And understand too that the department head did a very good job on their budgets. They're all understanding, and we know too that the prices of everything that we're doing is going up. We are working with our unions for contracts for the next 2 years. So we're trying to keep the dollar amounts to a reasonable expense at this point anyway. So to do that, but we do have that amount budgeted for salaries next year. Actually, we got about 3% in the budget for next year for salaries. And we're looking at a possible 4% for 27 is what we've been working on, a 2-year contract. We don't have any full union agreements yet on that, but there's other items in the contracts we're working on too. So 3% is what we're looking for, increases in that. Plus, we have some increases that Charlie been working on our insurances. Costs have gone up for insurance, and we've got some dollar we had to spend for paid family medical leave too. So we do have costs there. But those are figured into the budget. Oh, Nick's back, so. Nick, want to stop up?
Sure. And in answer to your question, Steve, that was kind of the figure I had in mind too. If we get that 8%, 7%, levy, I'd be much more comfortable with that.
Well, budget already, okay.
Yeah, we're just talking about the budget here.
And that makes sense what you're saying too, as far as the 003, because we got those other reserves that we can fall back to throughout the year.
Yeah.
Instead of building more reserve into this budget.
Correct. Of course, doing that, we want to be cognizant of our taxpayers too, because that's where the money's coming from. So we should do everything we can in our power to make it as palatable as possible. Just our cost of business. I mean, we've got about a $26 million overall budget is what we're working through with all the different departments.
And it would be.
We're a big business.
Yeah, we are. And it would be irresponsible not to have any contingency for unexpected things coming forward, which the 003 would have been. But like you said, we got the other reserves. There's no sense for us continuing to build that reserve up. I think that is a good plan. You guys kind of feel that way too.
I agree. We've been coming under budget the last number of years too, so.
Wondering if we could reduce that non-departmental, say, to 100,000 from 400,000. And maybe still take 300,000 or 400,000 from reserve. And the combination of that would be, a good amount.
To use some of the reserve to hold down to
Yeah,
Go further.
do even further than that 8%.
right.
Yeah.
You would need some reserve to go to 8%, wouldn't you?
Mhm.
But I was thinking like if you lower, drop this by 300,000 to 100,000. And then say took either 300,000 or 400,000 from reserve spending.
Buy it down.
Yeah. And then I don't know what Nick had in addition. I know he had that little extra from the truck.
Yep, that was around 45, I believe. I think there was a little room on the motor grader too, but I don't remember what that was right offhand. I got Nate trying to track that down for me quick, but do you have a number in mind you want me to get at? Cause I mean, we can do.
Million.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Well, you have.
find that you want me to look for.
We just want to see what you're thinking, I guess, what you
Um,
have or.
So the motor grader and plow truck are ordered. There's a pickup in there for 45,000. That could go if we had to. And then we put 300,000 in, saving for the replacement of our highway shop, and we can do whatever you guys want with whatever. So I mean, I'm not.
What are you putting in for the highway shop?
300.
300, okay.
Yep. Yep, so,
And what do you think on the pickup? You got pretty good supply of pickups, or reasonable, or are you okay, or?
it's so hard telling, like, if that's something you wanted us to
Well-
delay, we could.
Just,
Yeah.
you need them, but.
Yeah, we could make something work, I know. Whatever, I'm sure we could make something work if that's something
You
you
don't want to be
wanted.
sitting on the road.
No, I don't think anything's near that,
Okay.
but
How old is the one you're thinking about replacing?
Um,
99,
yeah,
200 and some thousand.
Yeah,
it's one that is at a motor grader
Yep.
shop. It doesn't get.
very
They
few
don't,
else.
well, they use it, but
Yeah,
not much.
right. Yeah.
So-
Body's still okay on it.
if that's something that helps out, we can do that,
Yeah. I would like that.
I'm I feel a little bit more strongly about the motor graders and plow trucks, keeping them running good.
Yeah.
But this is one of those things like, whatever, it's not not near as big a
They
deal.
will be, not that it's a pickup, but they will be using that ambulance
Right,
as a vehicle, but it's not like driving a pickup, right?
right.
Correct. Yeah, so we can do that if that helps out. I mean,
So we'd have 45,000 there. What other savings did you think you had?
it was about 45-ish or a little over that on that plow truck. And then I think there was some on that motor grader too, but I don't remember how much. I don't think that was a whole lot. So if we,
Maybe 100,000 total
I was
savings.
gonna say, I'm thinking we'd be right around 100 if we took the pickup out and then I trimmed what we had originally budgeted for the plow truck and the motor grader, took that down to what the actual costs were. I think we'd be right about 100 then.
And that equates to about 1%, doesn't it, if I remember right,
Close, yeah.
roughly?
Close. Yep.
Yep.
This is pretty small, but, the dues for, Regional Solid Waste Commission are gonna be half next year. So it will be $12.50 instead of $2,500.
We'll get reductions very often,
Right.
the other way around.
Unfortunately, they got done with their 10-year plan, which cost a lot.
So they're gonna go to 1250 from 2,500?
Yeah. We approved that last meeting we had in late November.
And recall, we talked about our ACE dues that now we're a full member instead of paying costs that will actually be half of what we were before, so.
Yeah, I saw that in the hand. That's nice.
Everybody comfortable with Luke's proposal for line item 003?
I don't think we can expect them to cut more than 10%, you know.
I'm comfortable with that.
So let's review.
Yeah.
You're talking 100,000, maybe with Nick.
100,000 from Road and Bridge.
300,000 in
three-
non-departmental,
And then some reserve.
and then use, 300,000 or 400,000 out of reserve.
Yeah.
Which might
My
get,
time on the board, we've never done.
right. And normally I'm not a fan of it,
No.
but the last few years, we've usually had about that much left at the end of the year.
Yes.
So I'm thinking that,
Yeah.
it may be a net zero, really.
Yeah.
And it'd probably get the budget down to maybe 5-ish or,
Yes, I agree.
With wind production tax, with the curtailment, we're not really seeing a lot of income coming from there, are we?
No, it's
Pretty flat.
So it's not, like we can use that to buy down,
not anymore. I mean, the heyday was we were just over $1 million since I've been here. Now we're right around the low eights now. Like we've always said, turbines aren't turning. We're not getting anything and nobody else is either.
Again, that's why we never relied on it.
Exactly.
Well, if we can get our other departments to all cut 100,000, we'd be in good shape.
Charlotte?
You know? Yeah, right.
Work.
You know, I did go through and did a spreadsheet just of capital equipment. Building and plants got 200,000 in there for building improvements. But the biggest one there, anything going on of any major consequence, the rest of the equipment budget is really minimal.
speaking of building improvements, when is that entry ever gonna get done? Didn't that get approved and
Yeah, it's
They're
approved.
supposed to be here the 15th of this month.
really, they're gonna do it in the winter?
Yep. And they'll be doing the sheriff's office windows at the same time.
Okay.
Years we've been working on that.
Here's. I had brown hair when it started.
I have here.
I've been working with company WL Hall and they have told him they will be here on the 15th. They had some issues they had to deal with because they're gonna have workers that'll be working in the secure area at the sheriff's department. And they have to be vetted and fingerprinted and security clearances and all that to do that. So they're working through that. But last I heard, Kyle told me they'll be here the week of the 15th. And should be able to get it done in a week.
Great.
Anything with the sheriff's department budget, a vehicle or anything, or where are they at? So,
Nope, no vehicles this
Okay.
year. And their low budget for 25, the greater than $300 is $20,000 in there. And then in 26, they've got 10,000 for 6480 equipment and 20,000 for general equipment. So they've got a total of 30 in there. They do have one vehicle in there for 55.
in what year?
Sheriff.
26?
26. They have a vehicle listed for in their budget for 55,000 for 26. I think that the way they go through vehicles and the way they get damaged and deer hit
Yeah,
and
it's-
stuff
it's
like
pretty
that,
hard
that's
to-
not, I think we'll,
Hard to know that.
yeah,
you
we'll
know.
do far better doing what we're talking with board on to get, we're up to approximately 800,000 if we do the 400 from reserve right now.
And to me, vehicles are far more important to them than to us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
A little bit. Yeah.
Well, no problem. I think it's different up there. Just-
right.
You plain clothes. You could be a plain clothes one when you're a $200,000 pickup.
Yeah, that should be enough.
If I'm hearing you right, we're looking at about $800,000 decrease. If you want to do 400 from reserves and 400 total from the other departments, 100 and 300.
Yeah.
I'll work with Amanda on that. We'll get that taken care of.
Okay. I got a couple other just typos on the truth and taxation stuff I can go. over
Oh,
with
sure,
you
that's
later.
fine, yeah. Yeah, we can go over that before we leave.
Okay.
That'd be fine. That's why I wanted to give it to you early so you could take a look at it too.
We have the new numbers available then. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have it ready for tonight.
I'll update my slides for you too then.
Sounds good.
I maybe should have asked Bill when we're talking about that IT expense. Again, a good illustration of how inflation, I mean, that's just constant and we just can't do without it. So,
We added a person there too.
yes, we did. Yeah,
Which we need.
what you need.
Mhm.
And that 32,000, that was a budgeted amount. That was in Bill's budget, I think.
Yeah, it was budgeted. It was.
That's for 5 years, so really 6,500 a year.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Which is
reasonable.
good, yeah.
What it does.
By that about how many devices use all the software and stuff. It's not.
And our exposure and one ransom attack and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
We have election expense this year.
Work on 100,000 from road and bridge, 300,000 from the 003 budget. That'll leave 100,000 in that.
Mhm.
And then 400,000 from reserves. That'll get us 8. Okay. All right, we'll go to work on that. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it.
Good discussion on this.
About 5 minutes before the public hearing.
Yep.
You guys want to just take a brief recess or do you want to, what are you feeling?
Yeah.
Take a brief,
Can,
okay.
yeah, we can.
All right, we'll recess for 5 minutes. Reconvene in. Okay, we'll reconvene the meeting. Time is 9:33. We have a public hearing for the 2026 county fee schedule.
A motion from the board to open the meeting.
So move.
Motion second to open public hearing. Further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Public hearing is open.
Okay. Chairman, board members, you have in front of you in your copy, your packet, I should say, you have two copies. One is the 2026 draft. And then also a copy of the 2025 in there. The 2026 draft is being highlighted. Uh, Amanda, anybody else want to come up here for your auditor stuff? I'll go through what I've got here and then we can do what you guys have that I don't have on here to make sure we can get everything. All right. So far before this morning, we have the highlighted the delinquent tax publication fee increased from $30 to $50. Let's go ahead and do the auditor treasurer stuff. Stop right there and just do that additions you have for that. That'd be all right, Amanda?
Sure. So we've kind of got a combination of auditor, recorder, assessor's office. Kind of, they always end up going through all of our offices. So, but yes, as Steve said, the delinquent tax publication fee, we're gonna propose to increase that from $30 to $50. I did some analysis with, what it costs for us to publish that delinquent tax. We usually end up not just, even though by statute we are only required to, publish the first year delinquent, I have chosen to do all delinquents so that, those older years still are showing up. And we do charge this fee automatically goes on if it, is not paid by the date that the publishing's gonna go on. So, due to cost, that's where we're going with the $50 proposal.
Is that an annual fee then? If it's a
Yeah.
back year?
Yep. So it goes on, yep. And then, I have provided another separate sheet, some items that, I came up with after, Steve had already prepared his draft. Duplicate tax statements, so obviously people get tax statements in the mail. We have them available on our website for free, so they will continue to be free online if they want to go get them. But if people are requesting additional or duplicates, we are proposing that we charge $2 if they're in person, $3 if we have to mail or email. This is kind of, I looked at some of the neighboring counties and a lot of the other neighboring counties do similar, so that's kind of where we were going with that. We get a lot of people that kind of come in to pay their taxes and don't bring stubs, and so we're ending up having to go print tax statements, so just a way to recoup some of the costs there. Second item is the one we already discussed with the delinquent tax publication fee. Confession of judgment, we currently are, our current fee is $95 a parcel, and I am proposing that we increase it to $100 a parcel. Tax forfeiture, notice of expiration, this is a new fee, $100 a parcel. And this is per statute, we can charge for certain things with notice of expiration, and one of them has to do with posting. So this would be our way of getting it actually on the fee schedule, so we have a set fee that we can charge. Repurchase of tax forfeited property, we currently have that at the same as the confession at $95 a parcel, and I am proposing we increase to $150 a parcel. It's due to the extra work when it has been tax forfeited. We've already done some of the work, getting it into the state's name, abating taxes, and then when they repurchase, we have to put them all back on. So that's why I propose that one be a little bit higher than the confession of judgment fee. And then tax forfeiture administration, $300 a parcel, just for our administration of dealing with the tax forfeitures. Any discussion on any of those questions you guys have before we go to the next?
What is a confession of judgment? What is that?
So what that is, prior to being forfeited, people can choose to enter a confession of judgment, which is a judgment that gets filed with the court. It's basically a payment plan for some delinquent taxes. And then they have to stay current on their current taxes and then pay a annual payment for this confession. Other questions?
Now we'll have two fees there, right? We have a confession of judgment fee.
Yeah, right,
Just
now it's
tax.
on one line where we'll
Got it.
just put
Okay,
that.
just make sure I've got it right here.
Yep. And then, on the bottom there for split and combining parcels, we would like to have a $30 fee for that. Right now, we do not charge for it. Previously, in the past, I looked back in early 2000s, they did charge for splitting. And we kind of wanted to get that back, put back on where we have a fee for splitting and combining. Yep, Jean had talked at her local assessors meeting, and that's what a lot of the neighboring counties do.
Large, yeah, they charge. Cottonwood line. And same with tax estimate. Charge for tax estimate. It's, the reason why they charge is because when you do a tax estimate, like, let's say they're gonna split off a building site, you have to go through the split process, even though they're not gonna split yet, because figure out all the land value versus a site value. And then you're doing the process anyway. And then sometimes oh, what if it's 5 acres? Then you come back with a 7.5 acre survey. So then you gotta, you're starting over, and I think it's just know what you're asking first, and it's a lot of work, and it can take several hours to do a split and a tax estimate with it. So it's just kind of covering a lot of the hours that is being,
Take several hours, it's not even covering your cost.
no, it is not.
Should we consider maybe trying to cover more of those costs, raising that more? Or do you think that would be too much of a burden?
I just kind of based it off of what other counties were
Yeah,
doing, but
just
yes,
stay
we
in
can
line.
if if you feel that, but yeah, it does take, some of them can take 3-4 hours to do, because you're splitting out the land, you're figuring out the land, you're comparing it to what it was, and yeah, it can take a little bit, especially if the parcel is not 160, you know what I mean? Nothing's gonna be
Right.
square or rectangular, and so it can be very tricky sometimes.
And my interpretation always has been with these fees that we're not trying to generate revenue with these fees at all. That's not the intent. We're trying to just cover our costs. So if you think that's adequate,
Yeah, I mean,
I think to stay in line with neighboring counties, yep. And then this is a starting point. We can always adjust from.
Amanda, question, the tax forfeiture administration at 300 a parcel, is that gonna be a new fee under auditor treasurer?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Any comments, questions, gentlemen? Personally speaking, I would agree with all the increases that you proposed, and then adding the new items to it makes total sense, so.
Comment from the public.
Is there any comment from the public?
Your chance.
Otherwise, we still have the other items to address yet, right, Steve?
Yep, I just have a few more on the list here. Thank you guys very much.
Yep, thank you.
On page 2, under the sheriffs, you have the highlighted mortgage. Increase that $50 from 125 to 175. Data request DVDs. That's pretty much how they're getting information to people that want them now, is they burn DVDs for them. So instead of doing pages, they just want a flat fee of $25 for that. Sheriff sales, increase that of $50 to $175. More time and effort goes into that.
does that also cover the advertising, or that's separate? We have to
That's
advertise
separate.
here. That's
That's a separate fee. Vehicle storage rates, those have gone up, as they store vehicles at, local at Swannies for most of the time. I believe most of them are there, is the cost increase there. So they're at $50 a day for that now for the sheriff's department.
And those fees are payable to us and then the sheriff's then pays the contractor.
Correct. Yep. Page 4, Emily gave me a few things. One was federal and state lien search. That is not applicable anymore. She did add on the birth certificates, one certified copy for $26 and additional copies are $19 each if done at the same time. They get a little discount on that. And some people do need more than one. So that's why she wanted to do that. And also have a heading now. It didn't change anything. It says non-certified copies. That was just to make it a little clearer in the grid there of what that was for. And then the vital search record, this is a new one at $20 an hour. And then vital record verification at $9 each. So nothing out of line, nothing too expensive or anything. And did have one for the fairgrounds. I contacted the city and got an updated meter fee. Those are the meters they put on hydrants. So, and then hook fire hoses to it so they can use water out at the fairgrounds. The meter fee has been increased at the city to $75. So I wanted to be in line with what the city was charging us to do that. So we pass that along to the organizations or people that use that. And then plus $50 per day for water.
Does that cover the cost of the amount of water they use?
Per day, yes. Yep. Cal said that would be fine in most cases. During the fair, it's not an issue. This is just for events. Yep.
Why do we put a meter on if they
We don't have
charge
a because
$30 anyway?
we'd have to charge the meter because the meter is in
How it hooks up to
hooked to the hydrant. So the hydrant doesn't have a meter. It hooks onto the side of it and then the hose goes out from there and that's where the meter spins is on that meter.
Understand that, but the meter's
Yep.
not doing any metering because we're paying $50 a day. Or is it $50 a day plus whatever we used?
It's $50 a blade plus water.
Do they still have to pay the actual cost of the water?
Sounds like it.
Well, $50 a day is for the water.
It's for the water.
That's for the
Yeah,
water.
it's,
No.
I mean,
that's a lot of water.
You use 2 gallons or 300,000.
Right, it's a lot of water.
That is.
It's $50, yeah.
It is.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think the reason the city needs to know the gallonage is like keep track of what their water losses are. They
need
know
to-
how much they pump and
That's normal. They actually, when we filled the sprayer at the highway department, we put a meter on the hydrant out front. And
Mhm.
Same thing.
Yep.
I don't think they were charging near this fee for that, but that might be different too. So-
because that's how they can calculate if they've got pipes that are bad or not by what they're pumping or what they're selling and or using. So it's just.
but at the current rates, $50 really doesn't buy that much water.
Yeah, it does.
For
It
rural water,
it
that's quite a.
covers a lot of water.
Right.
No, yeah.
You're thinking of all the other fees that go along on our municipal water bill.
I guess so,
There's a storm sewer.
It's just water only.
right?
We pay sewer bills out there on
Right.
the blue building where we have toilets and things like that, so we pay. But this way we get something back from the people who are using the water out there for their shows and that type of thing. A lot of water for $50, I know that. And back page, no changes to EMS for their fees. And then I did put a copy of the 2025 cannabis fee schedule, no recommendation for changes in 26. I have had very few inquiries on cannabis this year. Last one we had, and Kyle mentioned it at the meeting, was for the possibility that someone wanted to do a grow facility out in one of the townships. And Kyle Career worked with them on that and gave the information and we haven't heard anything back, so. No news in cannabis world.
I think with the changes federally and the effects that might have on some of the business,
Oh, yeah.
do you think people are just gonna pump the brakes right now?
I think so. Where the economy's going as well and what's going on and the costs of everything that we're doing and the fees and the taxes that all go along with cannabis. It's you need to be rich to be able to start a business, like to have a lot of funding in place.
On the back that, retailer, is that like the liquor store? Is that something different?
I think so, yeah.
They pay them annually?
That would be anyone in the county doing it. We don't have anybody to my knowledge at
the
this time.
city-
The city does
the
their
city
own,
would
city
be
has their own ordinance for themselves.
Okay.
They're selling their low potency edibles
Just out of the city.
and
limits,
liquids out of the
okay.
liquor store.
How about Woodstock? They opted out of the county.
Haven't heard anything at all? No contact from anybody there?
They,
They're on their
are
own,
these fees?
set up their own fees.
They're not right now, correct? Cause they opted out.
Yep, they opted out, so they have their own ordinance, they'll have to come up with their own fee schedule.
Has to, if I remember correctly, mirror the states.
Yes. I've not heard anything about anything going on there in Woodstock.
I haven't either. They wanted that option, I guess, for some reason.
They did. So with that, Mr. Chairman and board members, those are the changes we have for 26.
Any other comments on the changes to the fee schedule for 2026? Comments from the board, any comments from the public?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second the motion to close the hearing.
Okay, motion second to close the public hearing. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Public hearing is closed.
Since the hearing is closed, it would be appropriate to adopt the fee schedule at this point.
We'll make a motion to adopt the
I'll second.
2026 county fee schedule.
Okay, motion second to approve the county fee schedule for 2026. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you. Do it again next year.
Yep. Well, the budget meetings aren't time sensitive, so if you're ready, Demain, I think we.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman and board members, this meeting is required by law to have an annual meeting with the elected officials that we have here, other than commissioners. And the two we have are the attorney and sheriff. So this is to review the salary and budget for the county's elected officials. If they have any comments on their budgets or salary, you're welcome to.
It's, same thing I say every year. A lot of the stuff I try to keep low. Typically a 2% raise on the office expense type of stuff. That seems to work just fine. Then I just round it so that you divide it by 12. It's always an easy, even number. The one anomaly here was when we hired Adam as an assistant county attorney, we started him at 70,000. When we hired Aaron the year before, we started her lower. Basically, they're equals. But if I would continue what Aaron started at versus what Adam started at, Adam would be making about $6,000 more than Aaron, which is a disparity. And I don't want that. I need to treat them as equal because they're doing the work. They're doing a lot of it together. Adam has more experience in the court system than Aaron, but Aaron's been with the office longer. So I'm just trying to get it balanced. So her raise ends up being closer to about a 10% to bring her in line with Adam's 3%. So they're making the same gross. So that's my anomaly there. Otherwise, Steve had put down 3% for most of the people. That's where I kept my salary at. And then pretty much everything across the board was 2%. And one of them, I think office supplies, it went up $200. We spent this year and I want to make sure we had enough and I didn't exceed that. So it was 1,400 last year, 1,600 or 1,400 this year, 1,600 for the next budget. And just so you know, I've kind of gotten away from this. I had Erin go through and put together our figures for this year, and then she went back to 2023 and 2024 too, and then I kind of pulled the stuff that I'd done from before. And generally, for a 6-year time period from 2014 through 2019, we averaged 95 criminal complaints a year. Those were usually felony and gross, maybe a few misdemeanors in there. We averaged about 35 juvenile petitions a year in that time period. And we averaged a total number of complaints, juvenile petition or complaints, petitions, court appearances, and everything about 668 a year in that time period. 2023 formal complaints, we had 78. In 24, we had 88. This year, we're down to 57. That's a huge drop off. Our controlled substance crimes in 2023 and 2024, there were 23 in each of those years. This year, we're down to 10. So I don't know what that says, but that's a good thing. Yeah, good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't like to see a lot of drug crimes. And then Aaron also put on here the DWIs for this year, like 2023, there were 29 of them, 24, there were 23 DWIs this year. We have 9, out in the county. So there's not a lot going on outside the city limits. Juvenile, so basically in this time period, we got averaging 74 adult criminal complaints versus in the last time period, we were at 95. So we're down about 20. Our court appearances are maintaining the average. The juveniles are down a little bit. We're averaging 23 juvenile formal petitions over the last 3 years. And of that, every year, about 10 of them are child protection cases. That's where our workload is and what we're doing right now. So then, on the side, let's see. We just finished briefing one appeal that we made. We got 2 more in the works that defendants are making, so I'm just waiting for briefs to come out of the public defender's office. We'll get our name published sometime here as news, but so we got 3 of those working, and those are they take a lot of time. It can be really kind of satisfying when you get a good appellate brief written, and it's good when the Court of Appeals starts just pulling stuff from your brief and putting it in theirs. But so we have 3 pending this year, and we still got one homicide case pending. That's set for trial in March. There's your update. Any questions for me?
I think Luke had one.
Yeah, when you say out in the county, does that not include the city of Pipestone?
DWIs, we keep a separate one for that because the county attorney's office doesn't prosecute DWIs in the city of Pipestone. We do that under the contract the law firm has with the city of Pipestone. So every complaint comes out, says Pipestone City Attorney on it. So yeah, I mean, if I had to look back through the city stuff, city ones, you'd probably double, if almost triple the number. Right. Because the vast majority of law enforcement is sitting in the city of Pipestone at any given time. Any other questions? Any comments?
Maine, can you give us the total of Adam's salary and Aaron's salary for 2026 you're estimating?
What I have that they both would get would be 72,100. So that's, again, Adam started at 70,000 a year, but he didn't start until 3/1. So the 3% is 2,100 added on to that. Aaron for 2025 is getting 66,000 a year.
Yep.
And like I said, it'd be about a 10% increase, just a little short, maybe 9. She would also be at 72,100. And then my salary at 3% over what I made last year for 2026 would be $104,092.
Right. Okay, perfect.
Mr. Chair, if I may, just for clarification, excuse me for even the question, but yeah, so your people then are considered as Pipestone County full-time employees or they're subcontract, they're your employees?
No, the Aaron and Adam,
Yes.
they are Pipestone County employees. They are appointed assistant county attorneys. They get the full benefits. even though we're a part-time office, we still get all the full-time benefits for the thing. And then they are also employed by the O'Neill Bardison Law Office like I am. So we're running two hats all the time.
And of course, now with this paid family medical leave, we have to be.
Yeah.
in compliance there too.
Who's gonna, be available for that? You're not because you're elected, but your assistants are?
They should be because they're not elected.
Right.
I haven't read the law. I just got
Yeah.
a glimpse of it. There was a meeting and my wife's telling me about it and
So they won't be eligible to receive either if they're elected?
they're not elected though.
Oh, they're not.
No, they're appointed.
Appointed.
You're the one that's elected.
I'm the elected.
Okay.
At least that's what the certificates of election say.
We get to pay premiums and we're not eligible to take
Be
benefits.
benefits.
It was a well thought out law, it sounds like. Another one to bring up to Mr. Weber and Mr. Schumacher and say, excuse me.
Mhm. Absolutely.
I don't know that they supported that.
Probably didn't.
How about that?
I mean, what is Adam and Aaron's full-time status? Are they full-time county, part-time, 50/50? How you,
I would classify them about 75-80% county.
75 to 80?
Yep, for what their workload is and what they're doing all the time, it's 75-80% county. Then the rest of it's the private practice work.
What percent would you be?
Yeah, I'd be more, probably 55-60 county and 40 private practice. That'd be a rough estimate. It's
Yeah.
kind of hard to say because any given day I go in and I haven't, you have a plan in sight of something you may want to work on, whether or not it's county work or whether or not it's private. And more often than not, the two of them start interlapping every 15 minutes. So that's kind of the nature of it. I might have a will on my desk and then at the same time, I'm talking please, possible pleas and going over criminal complaints and helping Aaron or Adam work through the process of understanding how to prosecute. So, that will sits there, but I'm not looking at it. I mean, other times I'll pull the county stuff up and then the private clientele will need a quick answer call. So I got my county stuff that I want to work on, but I'm on the phone. And that's just the nature of the beast.
Any other comments, questions for Domain?
Thank you for
Thank
what
you.
you do for the county.
Yes.
Well, I'm kind of blessed to be. I been 20. On February 2nd, it'll be my 28th anniversary here. Seems like one like that. I look around the courthouse now and even Keith doesn't have more time in here than me.
Mhm.
So, and the only one that was in this courthouse that was a regular figure, whether in the sheriff's office or over on the other side, that was here when I started, the only two were Steve and Mike Heyman.
And Steve already commented about the color of his hair. And,
I just let myself get this way so it doesn't look abnormal and I'm still dark haired and wrinkle free.
Thank you, Domain.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll let Keith address everything. Just so you know, I looked at the sheriff's office website just before I came down because I want to see how many complaint reports had been opened at the sheriff's office website, because a lot of that brings our volume into play.
Oh, absolutely.
And this year, I believe Keith can clarify, but there's only been about 63 opened ICRs in LATG. So that is way down from a couple of years back. It was over 11,000. Oh, I mean, when their volume goes down, our volume goes down. We're basically on the same tuner here. So. Okay, well, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Is attribute that to? What do you think's going on?
It'd be pure speculation. I
Oh, yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I just don't.
I just don't know. You know, it's nothing to do with the fact that, you know, like to say that the deputies are not out there doing their jobs and making stops and conducting investigations. They're just, this year, there just must be an anomaly in the situation, but when we, you know, hope it's gonna be good, that's when it's gonna come back to bite the sheriff's office and our volume is gonna go skyrocketing. So,
Said his name one too many times. He showed up.
yeah, I start speaking about Haman.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
You can enjoy the valleys while you have them.
It's nice because, you know, I've never sat down at the desk and go, my God, I've got nothing to do right now. It's never happened. And this lull so far in the criminal prosecutions this year and what's been going on with the juveniles too is kind of a nice little break, but we'll see what happens next year.
The homicide one's gonna change your workload?
The nice thing is, the Attorney General's office, it was agreeable to spearhead that one. So
Hmm.
I will be at the trial every day if it goes to trial. But I will not have 6 weeks of prep. So that is gonna be a benefit. You know, I need to keep up on speed and what's going on with the thing in the general facts, but I will not be doing the direct to the cross, presenting the evidence. We'll let someone that's all they do that.
State's gonna come send somebody down to do that.
Yep, yeah, they have a guy named Jason Heiser with the Attorney General's office has been assigned to it. So early on in the process, when things started coming through, I reached out to them right away. Because we looked at this saying there's gonna have to be some technical scientific evidence, the time involved in it. You know, everything that was going on, I'd rather have someone that just does homicide prosecutions if they were willing to take it, and they are. And the only cost to the county really is mileage reimbursement and expense. So about every time they have a hearing, about a month later, I get something for mileage from the Twin Cities down and back up. If the homicide case goes to trial, they're gonna be staying down here. So hotel expense is gonna be on there and that's gonna come out of my budget too. And I really didn't budget for that because you know, I'm the kind of the internal, you know, the eternal optimist that I think things are gonna go well. And I have a feeling that there's gonna be a plea reached, so it will not go to trial. That's my feeling.
Some people have received their jury summons for next year and they're worried about that, but I'll tell them not to worry.
No, don't do that.
They've
Keep them on the edge of their seats.
seen us how it happened in Edgerton, you know, they were worried about
Don't worry too much.
sitting on that trial, yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's the nature. I mean, people get on the jury list,
No?
right in a duty,
Mhm.
so. So we'll see what happens with that. Only time will tell. Okay, I'll turn it over to Keith and Mike.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chief Deputy, you will come up too. You walked all the way down here, so.
Go.
Morning.
Good morning. Well. We got for us.
Dean said, and for me, it's the same every year too. I just appreciate so much how you guys support our office. You know, I really do. It's just, we work together so well, I think. So, sorry, I can't talk pretty good yet, but
Glad you're here.
as far as budget about wages, you know, I'm content with anything. Whatever the deputies get or rest, I don't care. I don't. Appreciate everything we get, so.
Anything big for next year?
So last week with the cameras and stuff, that's kind of our big thing coming up.
And the windows are on a separate
That's,
project.
yeah, that's weeks too, so.
I still heard the 15th. Have you heard the
Yeah,
same thing?
we talked
That's
about this
last
morning.
I
so
heard.
Yes, right.
Last I heard was the 15th.
Be nice and warm.
Hopefully I won't do them all at the same time. Do them all one at a time.
Well, I don't see any, we never know what's gonna break or happen, but. And as far as, domains, so the numbers are down. Yeah, I don't know how to let, we got same guys with more experience making all kinds of traffic stops. Well, maybe it's not so much out there right now. We can hope. I don't know.
Dan, you have a question?
Yeah, I got just some comments, and forgive me for getting on a soapbox, but I really truly appreciate the job you guys do. And good case in point, we talked about the body cameras, we talked about it last week as well too. It's a tool, it's an investment. We've got good employees. Our good employees need good tools to work with. And I just really comfortable with the job that you guys are doing. And yeah, you see this anomaly, you say, well, aren't they working? Yeah, they're working.
They're working.
That's good, and I appreciate that.
Just one of my observations, I like to watch the jail list too, because even from my work, there's a strong correlation
Yeah.
of people go to jail, that people get in trouble and stuff. And a lot of these repeat offenders we've seen over the years, now I'm seeing them in other county jails.
Yep.
And so I think maybe that's where the change is. They're not here anymore. They're transplanting in other places. And then maybe after going through our court system as many times as they have, maybe that's enough to get them out.
I had the exact same thought. Some of those names that we had seen quite frequently, we don't see so frequently here anymore.
We know a
So,
lot of people.
Yep. So,
I guess one of our concerns is this family medical leave, how that's gonna
yeah.
affect us.
Yep.
We don't know. Could be bad. I mean, we have to fill our shifts,
With you mentioned with your work too, I know it probably is not apples to apples, but do you see a decline in issues there as well too? Comparable to what we have here, or whole different world, but
no, it's not the same. Yeah.
about the same volume.
But
And I can put in a good word for Domain too and his crew.
Yep.
Aaron's been fantastic to us, for us, and open the door anytime, and really well with them. Don't always agree, but that's not our job to agree, Gonna go to jail.
you said proposed budget and salary and everything. Is there any questions on those subject matters? Or?
Earlier when Nick was here, we're talking about vehicles and so forth, and he's got one pickup that he's gonna defer. And we talked, you've got one vehicle in yours too, but again, it's your vehicle is necessary, and it'd be a mistake to try to save dollars on that corner.
Sad thing is, the new vehicles seem like they're broke all the time.
That's what we talked about
Just
with the miles
Crazy,
that you guys put on and
crazy.
the deer strikes and.
That's gonna happen, but we used to do them Crown Vics that drive for 4 years and never break.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How many times they break now with 40,000 miles on it? It's like,
Yeah.
it's just insane. No, he doesn't drive fast. So no, I think everything's going good. I appreciate all the help we get, and you guys, county attorney,
Well, again, as we go to around the state to our various AMC meetings, we hear other counties as far as the same with HR we talked about before. We're very blessed with our openings that we were able to fill our openings with good people. You guys are able to fill your openings with good people. So, and I really believe that really addresses the quality of the workplace here. So thank you guys for what you do.
and thank you for keeping our employees. I mean, it's a lot easier to keep one than train one.
You bet there is.
So,
Yep.
any one of our guys can go anywhere, the way the market is, but want to stay, that's huge.
Absolutely. Any questions, comments? Gentlemen, while we have them here? Well, again, I just wanted to express the thanks back to you guys too for all your hard work and everything you do.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, according to my agenda, that concludes all of our regular business. So for other business, we have committee reports, unless there's any other items, Steve, that are missing.
You got the budget? I'd say.
Okay. Any volunteers, kick it off?
Here, I will
Else, go
hit the regular meetings.
ahead.
That's it. Been having computer trouble.
Understand that.
Scheduling was such that November wasn't heavy for me anyway, and which is good because we were on the field, so.
Dan?
I'm ready next.
Sure.
Had a pretty light month, really. November 6th, I had my ACE meeting, and again, we talked about that, where in fact, we're meeting Wednesday to ratify or to finish up our next year's program. There's a couple counties that are trying to save money, and they're considering pulling out of ACE, and personally, I think that's a mistake, and we see the benefit that we get from it, so we'll see how that all works out. But again, having, as we talked before, losing the funding from the federal government that we've gotten through seniors, can't think of the title right now, AmeriCorps for seniors, that's gonna hurt us financially. And there again, we've got the problem with our employees with their benefits. How do we maintain their benefits? How do you keep good employees? You know, you cut hours, then you cut benefits. It's very, very difficult, so. Then on the Monday, the 10th, we had our plan ops meeting at the hospital. Of course, Veterans Day, the following day. On the 12th, I had a Veterans Memorial Committee meeting. 17th, Monday, I had our SMOC meeting in down at Worthington. We're again facing challenges there with funding as well too. We really don't know where we're at, what the cutbacks are going to be. I think I did report though that we do have a new Head Start director now. It was a former employee, a current employee that moved up into the directorship. So she is doing a great job, very well suited. On the 19th, had Southwest Health and Human Services, Doug, there really was nothing specific, Health and Human Services. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Say something. I see you are working on the leases for all of the different counties. I got a
Thank you for
report
reminding me
from
of that. Yep.
Stacy yesterday on that, talking about bringing everybody up to a $12.
We'd mentioned that before, that ours is actually about half of cost the others, and the square footages are all over the place. But all that, because it's already we've already approved the lease for this year, that's all looking for discussion in the oncoming years. I don't see any change. Maybe part way through the year, but I doubt. I think it'll probably be not till we get into 27's budget that we'll realize those changes. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Okay, good. Good.
Other than that, on the 24th, they had Rural Minnesota Energy Board had a presentation there from XL Energy. A lot of discussion, of course, about these data farms. In fact, Nobles Electric is looking very seriously at helping bring a data farm into Nobles County. I think right now he said their current load for Nobles Rural Electric is like 40 megawatts. 40 megawatts. This new data center will consume 340 megawatts of power. And they're talking about, of course, renewables and everything else to supply it. And it'll be interesting to see how that actually evolves.
Part of that was to suck up power that's not being transmitted. They won't use it in Lowell's County.
Yeah.
Nuclear plant,
Nothing was talked about the small nuclear.
how they're gonna supply it.
Yeah, it seems far-fetched to me as well too.
Seems crazy.
Yeah. They talked, of course, about the water usage. We always hear so much about water usage for these, and that's for cooling. Well, of course, with cooling, you can either do like an old swamp cooler, you know, an open drip system. Of course, it's terribly inefficient, use a lot of water. Or you could go with a closed loop system, kind of like a geothermal unit. So I don't know exactly, or fans, of course. Fans are the cheapest, but they are noisy. Yeah, they use more power. So it'd be interesting to see. We're just kind of on the cusp of that, see how that evolves.
An article in the Tribune about that a couple days ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I read that one too. Yep.
And other than that, that pretty much finished up my month in November. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Done? Sure.
Month of November, on the 6th, I mentioned this a little bit last month, but Time West Health, mentioned that the DHS raised the rates, which helped tremendously. But I forgot to mention that, they're getting a new medical director full-time, and Scott Hagstedt will be a part-time, who is currently full-time. And then on the 10th, we had a union negotiation with the sheriff department. The 12th, regular board meeting. 19th, union negotiation with the highway. 20th union negotiation with the courthouse. And the 25th, regular board meeting, and then same day, road and bridge meeting. And then afternoon was the PCMC meetings.
You went through them all.
Yeah.
You went through them all.
That's right. Well, and I wasn't able to go to that Prime West meeting, so I appreciate Doug being able to make that much. So thank you.
No, no.
Do you see Kyle's here? Do you have anything?
I don't have any, I was just gonna try to touch base with Anna Luke and
Yep.
Steve afterwards.
Okay,
Yeah.
we just finished our reports. We're gonna be done. So, all right, thanks, Kyle. I
Maybe
just want to make sure.
also-
I didn't want to keep you waiting. So.
Doug, we should maybe mention also with Prime West that we have now completely won our.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, yeah.
And so now the full 24 expansion counties are full members. And also the whole issue of sole provider has been settled. So we are now the provider, the only provider in those counties. We don't have to have competition coming in against us. So.
And I think I saw that might have 26,000 more.
Potential
Correct?
members,
yeah.
Is that
I got the
one we-
impression from that article too, it's gonna be phased and it's not gonna be all. at
Well,
once.
yeah, and probably wouldn't be instantly, but yeah.
That the one they've been fighting with for a year and a half?
Oh,
Oh,
and
yeah,
you're-
longer than that.
yeah, been a long time.
I was beating Jed.
It was a year and a half that the Supreme Court said, well, yeah, we'll hear the case sometime. So it took me a year and a half to finally come back and says, well, yeah, you were right. We really don't need to hear this case.
Do you want to go, Luke?
Sure. On 13th and 14th at AMC Futures, there was a presentation. There's some states that have been talking about trying to eliminate property taxes. I think South Dakota's been talking about having a referendum on it. But so we heard from like Julie's counterpart in Florida and Texas, where they have governor races this coming year, that where they're trying to use that as a selling point or whatever. But they don't have an alternative for where you'd get revenue from. And just as an example that they gave, if you were gonna use sales tax to replace property taxes, it'd have to be nearly 50% to replace the same amount of money. So, I don't know if that'd be a very attractive option for the public. And then we had a kind of a lengthy discussion on gun violence and various gun proposals that the legislature could potentially be seeing this coming session. On the 19th, they had union negotiations with the highway department. On the 20th at Prime Health, I guess there was good news and that the usage was down in the third quarter, which made up for the bad first half of the year. So it's looking a little better going into the, quarter. On the 24th, had the regional solid waste meeting, and I mentioned earlier that the dues will be half of what this year. And then on the 25th, I too was at the Road and Bridge Committee and Hospital Board. That's all I got.
All right, thanks, Luke. On the 3rd, I had the Sharing Hands Nurse Family Partnership meeting. Pipestone's well represented within the program. That group of nurses, they announced that they are going to join the Prime Health pool, that entity is. So that's encouraging too. That was good for them. A lot of the other rates they're looking at were well over 25%. So they're excited to get on Prime Health. On the 4th at a CPT personnel committee, they did not hire the one applicant they had for a tax position. Just the person wanted to work remotely 100%. And then people that have been there for a long time were the only people that are really able to do that. On the 11th had the board meeting. On the 17th had CPT executive committee. They had some good updates there. This MCCC, Tyler works with them, but they've some of the counties that have switched to that are having a minimum 18-month wait before they're able to switch them over to that. So there's Dodge County has signed a quote with CPT doing that because CPT can implement it within a month, not a year and a half. So Dodge County signed a quote. Wabasha and Freeborn are in the same situation, having to do with 18-month wait with Tyler. So they're doing demos with them. Jackson has reached out, and then Faribault County also signed for this year, and they're also promoting heavily to all those other counties that are dealing with MCCC and Tyler too. They're also visiting Mille Lacs this last week, so I have no idea where they went with that. But basically, there's this company called Avenue that's part of Tyler that does taxation work, and I guess they've been bought out twice, and that's kind of where the issue is coming. Is so basically have no help with this new tax program that they're gonna have to wait 18 months to implement. So Dual County, South Dakota, reached an agreement with them on their tax program. They said it's superior to what Tyler has over there, so they reached out to a bunch of other counties too to kind of fill in a void there because Tyler's been pulling out of North Dakota. And I guess in one of my notes here, South Dakota, there was a county in South Dakota that's actually started to reach out to, which one that was? Well, that was South Dual County, South Dakota, excuse me. Trying to think of what else I got there. The new tax web is open. I don't know if any of you guys have had a chance to use that. You can check your taxes online. It's a way new, it's a really nice program or whatever. I can give you guys a link or whatnot, but it really, you can breaks everything down now before, rather than just a plain black and white presentation. And then where did I write it? On the 24th, I had the the CPT full joint powers board meeting. On that one, we got did the audit, Baker Tilly did their audit, came back on modified clean. CPT is doing their own financials and payroll now, and that came back clean too with the way they're doing that now. Because it was Stevens County handling their financials before, and that was creating a big headache for Stevens and stuff. So now they're completely separate from Stevens and doing their own thing now. They average about 231,000 every month in revenue. So CPT sitting about 1.1 million in cash reserves and a little over 2 million investments. Big discussion too was because of the increase in health insurance. They did an RFP to reach out, could not get any better than the one that they have there. So it's a 26% increase. So the board decided to give them had to increase $200 per employee each month to match that 26% increase. And then everybody did get a 4% COLA. Anytime that we talk about wages or COLAs or anything with that board, get ready for 2 hours plus, because every county is going to want to speak their piece, and then people get confused too because they think it's county money, and CPT isn't county money. Counties own it, but their money's separate. Those guys, what they do is completely different than what county employees do. So trying to get that hammered in everybody's head every year, and when you got new commissioners every year that have to relearn everything, or it gets to be those get to be fun full board meetings, let me tell you. And then on the 25th, I had our board meeting here in our PCMC board meeting, and that concluded November for me.
Good.
So I don't always have the numbers for CPT. That's why I wanted to make a point to kind of show that, they're doing well, very well. They're a big reason that we did settle with the 4% too is they were bringing in new clients too. They're bringing in more revenue. So
Thank you for the information.
But, all right, so that concludes all of our committee reports. Is there any other business come before this board?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion second to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We stand adjourned.
7.
7 tonight. So I will be here. It's a quick meeting, then I can pick my kids up from practice, but if not, I got my